Hello friends, it is Catherine, Conscious Creatrix. Hello and welcome to this week's weekly energy check-in for the week of May 5th, 2019. If you want to receive this weekly energy check-in right to your inbox every Sunday, easy peasy, all you need to do is go to my homepage of my website, catherinemissel.com, wait about 4 seconds, and a pop-up box will prompt you to put in your information for my email list. And all you got to do is put that info there, and I will send you this weekly energy check-in so that you have it for your records, and maybe even something to refer back to. Hi, Angela. For when you want to know what is going on in the week ahead. How do you flow with the energies that are present and with the stream of consciousness that we're all kind of collectively tapping into, the energies hitting the planet? How do you stay in flow with what's going on instead of being in resistance to it? So as an intuitive, I love to bring you this information because it sometimes can be really, really helpful to know what's going on in the week ahead, and we can kind of plan our week accordingly. It doesn't mean that we are powerless against the energies that are coming into the planet or that are hitting the collective energy of humanity, but it just means that you can plan a little bit better, know a little bit more about what's going on, and it may even give you those aha moments like, oh, that makes so much sense. Now I know why I'm feeling crazy. I'm not really crazy. There's this, and that going on. So it's not so much that I'm talking about astrology or planetary alignment or anything in particular. It's really me tapping into just what's flowing at the moment. And I like to report back to you about what comes in for me. And what's really interesting is that I've had a lot of feedback since I've been doing this a couple weeks now. I've had a lot of feedback from some of the women on my YouTube channel and some people reaching out to me on Facebook Messenger saying, you know what? I was listening to your live weekly energy check-in 2 weeks ago, and exactly what you said happened for me, and this made sense, and I was able to figure this out. And so it's helping people, which is really, really great. And so if you find that I'm helping you too, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know how the information that I'm sharing with you is affecting you or working out for you. I'd love to know. I would love your feedback. So let's get into it for this week. Okay, so we are in kind of an interesting place of a life review right now. It's kind of like a mini life review, and it's a really interesting energy. And oddly enough, one of the ladies I'm friends with here in Facebook land, Wendy Lindenmuth, and I hope I'm saying her name correctly, she has a group called Healthy Inside and Out. And tomorrow, she asked me to host an event, a live event in her group that is Core Emotional Release and Life Review Masterclass. So how perfect and timely is that? So if you want to check out a little bit of healing and some information about releasing some of the core negative emotions that have been a driving force in your life up into right now, into your current reality, and releasing that, having an easy process of releasing that and feel great, free up your energy, free up your energetic vessel tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time in Wendy Lindenmuth's group, Healthy Inside and Out. I'll be doing hosting a live event there, doing a healing, and there's also an offer I'm going to be sharing with you guys in there too. So I will put the link here for you guys to check that out and to join the group if that sounds good to you. But we are in a life review right now, and it's really about this. We're coming out of this kind of collective hangover over the last almost 2 months. For a lot of you listening, you're going to find that if you did just check in with your energy here at the minute and just kind of do a brief life review of the last 2 months. That's why I say mini life review, because I'm talking about like the last 2 months. If you can kind of roll back your energy a little bit and feel into what you were feeling, like maybe even at the end of February, early March, it just felt like things were starting to really dismantle and fall apart and dissolve. For many of you, this can be an ongoing process that's been happening since the middle of last year. And if that's you, I'm sorry. I feel you. Believe me, I've been there too. But for a lot of us, it feels like maybe the last 2 months have been just this feeling where it's very uncomfortable because it feels like nothing is happening. And it feels like for a lot of us that we've been throwing a lot of our energy at trying to, let's just say, force outcomes to occur in our lives that we consider to be favorable. And the reason why the things haven't been panning out and why it hasn't really been happening for us is because it really wasn't aligned for us, because a lot of us were purging energy patterns. And when we are purging such deep energy patterns that have been this kind of undercurrent of our whole life force energy for maybe even 20, 30, 40 years, when we purge energy patterns on that level, it's not necessarily a time for creation. It's not necessarily a time for something new, because literally the entirety of you, the whole energy of you, the whole vessel of you is putting all of its energy, all of its attention and focus on purging energy patterns that aren't supporting you anymore. So over the last 2 months, there's been this real kind of massive discharge going on. I know that sounds gross. It's been this really massive energetic discharge, but I want to be here assuring you today that the worst is over and that the most volatile energy of that has really been played out. So there are some echoes happening of things falling away. It's just the dust settling. And it was really what we have been experiencing, many of us, over the last 2 months, was this downward growth curve. And yes, we have upward growth curves, but we also have downward growth curves. And this means that exactly what I'm talking about here, these purging of energy patterns, is a downward growth curve. This has to happen to make room for the new to come in. This is how we cleanse our energetic vessel to accept what is the next best thing that we're ready to receive. And so I really want to give you guys here that if this is jiving with your vibe right now and you're like, oh my God, that's been me, I want to assure you here that the most volatile energy of that is over. The biggest discharging of that energy is over. And I want you to just hang in there, because I know there's also a lot of you out there, and I hope you really hear me. I really hope you do. Hang in there. Because I know that some of you are feeling like, I can't keep doing this anymore. I can't be feeling this way. I can't be feeling like nothing's working out. Maybe I need to go back to doing this thing that I did before. That worked out. Okay, well, that thing you did before, it didn't make you happy. And that thing you did before is actually making the things, all the things that had to blow up in your life, it's because of that thing that you were doing before, or part of it, okay? I know, I'm ready to stop purging too, Angela. I hear you. Believe me, because there has been this major feeling in my life, and I know many of you are probably feeling this too, of just feeling like, why is nothing working? Why is nothing working? I'm putting the best of me forward. I'm doing all the things, right? I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm checking in with myself. I'm making sure that I'm maybe more disciplined than I've been before. I'm well-meaning in all my endeavors. I'm feeling grateful and all the things. I'm doing all the things, right? But nothing's falling into place. It's like I said, just hang in there. You've been having major purging of energy patterns, and while the fullness of you is busy and putting all of its attention and energy on doing that, it's not a time for creation. So for many of you, that may be feeling like, okay, well, that's why everything that I've been incubating or, trying to grow, it just feels like it hasn't been going anywhere. Many of you feel like you've just been stuck and you haven't been going anywhere. But what this does, when we purge these energy patterns to this degree, it messes with our whole sense of linear time. It messes with our whole human ability to perceive and conceive of things, okay? So that really messes with our sense of linear time. And it can make us feel like we're not moving, we're not going anywhere. It's like when, I don't want to use that as an example, but sometimes if you're in a car and then you see another car on the highway, let's just say zooming past you, and it almost feels like sometimes you're going as fast as that car or you're going a lot slower than that car, but you're looking at things in the filter of pitting it against or comparing it against something else. And a lot of you have been comparing your life to, let's just say, maybe what's been happening for other people. And we all do this, right? As humans, we're constantly like comparing ourselves with others and saying, okay, well, she's got it figured out. She's making it happening. Why is this not happening for me? We have no business comparing ourselves to other people at this point. We never really do, but this time especially, because everything that's happening is really making room for you, me, individually, everyone that you know in their own special way, in their own unique way. We've been purging energy patterns to make room for what is more aligned. So hang in there. Don't give up. We're almost over the hump here. So in the next week and a half, you're going to notice things just start loosening up. Like things are going to feel like more back into alignment again. You're going to get that sense back of like being in linear time, where it just seems like, oh, okay, you know, I'm connected and feeling present in my everyday life, and I'm aware of this feeling, I'm aware of this thought, and look at how seamlessly I can have these thoughts or these feelings, and then something in my life outside of me is lining up with that that's favorable, that's nice. So if you've been coming out of this period where you feel like you're throwing everything at it, you're throwing everything at trying to make something happen, you've been forcing outcomes, you're not going to feel that constant like push. You have to get something, you have to overcome something or triumph over something. That feeling is going to ease up quite a bit. But I want to say that because of this energy of the last 2 months, and it really kind of came into full culmination with the last full moon, because that felt like really big for a lot of us. I know personally I didn't sleep for like 3 days. The full moon is like really volatile, crazy, intense energy for me. And I usually don't sleep, but this past full moon was intense for me. So I know it's been intense for some of you too. So part of the energy hangover we're feeling is still this kind of energy dying away of this last full moon. But luckily we have a new moon in Taurus. And so a lot of those of you who are feeling like you want to see more practical changes in your life, things that are going to be sustained in the long haul, that stuff that you've been working on, okay, this is why you can't give up, because the stuff that you want to sustain, whether it's more of a sense of happiness or personal fulfillment or more meaning in your life, and you've been putting things in place in your life on a very practical level to make that happen in the long term, you're going to start seeing things kind of fall into place a little bit more around that. So don't give up. Even though many of you feel like you are hitting a wall and you're going nowhere, you're about to get over the hump. Like in the next week to 10 days, things are going to really start to shift and loosen up. So that's really good news, right? Really good news. So I just want to check in really quick to see if there are any questions. Because if you're here live and if you have a question about what's going on, I'm happy to answer it for you. Let me just see really quick on my desktop. Okay. But what's really, really going on with this new moon is that, okay, so now everything in the universe is in balance. Please trust that. Please have faith in that, because that's absolutely true. So as we're coming out of this downward growth curve, this massive period of discharge and purging of old energy patterns, naturally, to balance that out, the universe is introducing your ascent growth curve. So that's what you have to look forward to now, where things are going to start making more sense. You're going to start to feel a little more at home in your body. You're going to start feeling a little more connected in your body. Things that felt not so fixed, and things that felt really temporary before. I know this sounds super vague, but things that felt temporary before, and it might have even been like something that makes you happy, something that makes you feel grounded, something that makes you feel in your body and joyful in your everyday life. If it felt before like it was going to be temporary, it's going to start to feel a little more fixed. It's going to start to feel a little more concrete. It's going to start to feel like it's anchoring more in your body and your physical realm, okay? So if you haven't figured out, hey, Patrice, that the message here right now is don't give up. Don't give up. You're almost over the hump. Things are going to really start settling in and grounding. And if you can, ground into your Earth Star chakra, this is what I highly recommend for you this week. So that stuff that you've been working on, like If you are one of the people that I was talking about earlier, that you feel like you've been throwing everything in your energy toolbox at this one thing, trying to make this happen, and it just hasn't been sticking, that's where you can't give up. Like just keep going just a little bit further, because you're almost over this hump. And take whatever you've been doing and imagine grounding that into your Earth Star chakra. Because the deeper you take that into the earth and you ground it into the physical and literally ground it into Mama Earth energy, that thing that you want to stick and you want to sustain in your life for the long haul is going to be more likely to stick around. Okay, so ground into your Earth Star chakra, whatever you have in your spiritual toolbox for being able to do that. Even if you want to just go ahead and ground it into your root chakra, because you're going to start to feel like, even though over the last, let's just say 2-3 months, things haven't felt stable or secure, things are going to start to feel a little more stable and secure. Things are grounding. Things are coming down from here and going down into the earth and grounding into your physical experience. So take heart that your ascent growth curve is coming in now, okay? So even though it feels like you're not really sure sometimes, this is something that is kind of coming in for me right now. So let me just tune in a little bit. Okay, those things that are unwanted. Okay, so speaking of discharging and purging those old energy patterns, which many of us are coming out of that for the last 2 months, focus less on what it is that is unwanted, okay? Even though you are already purging unwanted energy patterns that the universe knows, okay, this isn't aligned for you, this isn't going to happen for you, we're going to help you get rid of this stuff. Focus less on what it is that you don't want. I mean, there's going to be still some of you, and for a lot of you, this is just part of your personality anyway, that are just going to want to complain about things. Focus on, okay, that thing you're complaining about, what would be the antithesis of that? What would be the opposite of that? Put your energy and attention on that, because remember I said we got a lot of really deep grounding energies here that are going to fix things that have just been a thought or an emotion or a desire. They're going to fix things into your physical reality, meaning cement them into your physical reality. So be careful of putting your attention on the stuff that is unwanted, okay? Because there is a really hyper aware sense of the universe. It's really paying attention to everything you're thinking and feeling right now. It always is, but it's like super instant manifestation right now. So don't put your attention or your energy on what is unwanted. Keep your eyes on the prize, okay? And know that you're almost over this hump of clearing out these old energy patterns. So don't leave an energetic void. Even though some of you are still purging, and this is going to happen maybe for the next week or so, get your energy ready, okay? Have a preemptive strike in place. Already start thinking about what you want to happen, what you want to feel, what you want to see play out on the physical plane of your life, okay, in very real and tangible, practical ways. What does that look like and feel like? Think about that. Focus on that. Put your attention, your energy, and your awareness, and your conscious attention on that. Because as soon as this energy purge is over for you, why leave an energetic void? Give the universe an opportunity to just go right in and say, oh, okay, this is what she's been vibrating with, this energy, this frequency that she's had for the last week and a half. Great, she obviously really wants it. Let's just make sure that that happens. I mean, it's almost instant manifestation, and for some of you it will be, okay? Just depends on how much resistance you have around it. But again, don't focus on the unwanted. Focus on what it is that you want to feel like and what you want to look like, what you want to feel like first, because that's the seamless line of communication that we have with the universe, is how something feels, how you want to feel. That is how you instantly manifest. Less about what it looks like, because remember what I've talked about before, that when you're so focused on what something should look like for you, that if all of your attention and awareness is what that thing should look like, when the universe delivers up the same vibration, the same feeling of it, but it looks like something different, you don't notice it when it shows up, okay? And this is why some of you are scratching your head and like, why is this not showing up? I'm doing all the work, I'm feeling it and whatever. It's because you're so fixed on having something look a certain way, and if it doesn't look that way, then it hasn't shown up. Don't do that to yourself. Go for the feeling. Focus on what you want to be feeling. What else did I want to say about this week? It's all about back in balance. It's all about shedding so that we can power up again. So those of you who have been really feeling like your power is somewhere out there and it's not accessible to you, this is, again, this process that's been happening, this massive discharge of old energy patterns was not a time for you to create. It was not a time for creation. So take heart that now is the time for creation. So again, focus on what you want, focus on that feeling of what you want, less what it looks like and more about the feeling. Understand that your power of creation is really like coming up in a massive, massive surge. So you want to make sure your energy is grounded, because when your energy is grounded and you feel present and you're aware and you're realizing your thoughts and you're right there with your emotions and you're connected to the way you're behaving or showing up and acting in the world every single day, you're grounded. And so the things that you're asking for can come into your physical reality that much faster if you're grounded, okay? So back into balance, powering up. We've been shedding so that we can power up again. And this new moon is all about belief in yourself. It's about taking the things that you've been wanting and having them be fixed as part of your physical, tangible reality again. This is where we, with our power coming up, this is an invitation for you to commit to yourself. I mean, commit, fully dedicate. So that thing that you've been telling yourself that you're going to do and you've been procrastinating out of fear or whatever, just do it. Just do it. Because everything is coming back into alignment, back into balance, powering up, committing to yourself. You've shed the resistance through this massive energy pattern purge that's happened over the last month. Everything's really in alignment for you to have what you want. So this is not the time to sit in fear. This is not a time to marinate or languish in self-doubt. I don't think I can really do this. Not a time for any of this. This is about like feeling your power, feeling fearless, and just going after the thing, okay? So I hope this helps you guys. Hang in there. You're almost over the hump, okay? I want to wish you guys so much love and peace this week. Thanks for watching, those of you who are here live, and I want to wish you so much love and peace. Bye-bye.